people.
Your Honor, good morning. Colleen Strogan, behalf of Mr. Engel. He has provided documentation of employment at 2 different places. And at this time, we're waiting for the prosecutor to give us a final restitution amount so we can have that for sentencing.
Okay, very good. I'm very pleased. You look very nice, man. Good luck, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, anything else, Randy?
Wilcox.
You got something?
Ready.
Wilcox.
Ready on Wilcox, yeah.
This is case number 15004-187, People City, Michigan versus Edward Wilcox. Step forward. What are we doing on this now?
Your Honor,
John Dallas on behalf of people.
Joseph Dillard on behalf of Mr. Wilcox, who stands to the right. The issue here was you were waiting on a competency report. That report has come in. We still maintain our affirmative defense.
Your Honor, I haven't received a copy of that.
I haven't gotten it either.
I would give a copy to the court as a courtesy. I'll also allow further counsel to review mine.
We do that now?
Pardon?
Can we do it now?
Yes, Your Honor. If you give me 1 minute to get the report. Your Honor, may my client have a courtesy to be able to sit down at this time?
You get 1 minute. Let me see it. Let me see it.
Your Honor, you can keep that copy if you wish. And if I can get that copy back, or you can make a copy of that one.
Okay. What we're gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to put this matter off. I'm in the middle of a deep here, and basically the finding is mentally ill at the time of the incident, suffering a thought disturbance, and it's her opinion that Mr. Wilcox, due to his paranoid delusions, could not appreciate the wrongfulness of his action or the nature of this situation at the time in question.
That's what the report. I haven't had a chance to read it all, Your Honor, but that's I was told to read in the last paragraph that I've
Let's
written.
do this. I can take a break. Let's just put this over till Monday. Are you available Monday?
The 9th, no, Your Honor. I am available the 10th, if the court will give me courtesy, as well as the
How about
11th.
noon? Noon on the 10th.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
That's still my lunch time. Okay, very good. Thank you. Excuse me. Just very good. That close enough.
Your Honor, you can keep that copy. That's an extra one that I made.
I'll make a copy of the court.
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So you got that date, sir?
Is that a good day for you?
Well, he don't have no choice, okay? He has to think.
No, I understand,
Okay.
yeah, but he has a lot of medical appointments that are going on for it. And so if the court would be simply somewhat flexible,
No, it's good, okay? All right, let's go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No. All right, very good. You ready?
Yes, Judge.
All right, here you go. Come on, Melendez.
Call case number 1500615, people of the state of Michigan versus William Melendez. Parties are here for a jury trial, which is in progress.
Okay, so for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Donaldson, appearing on behalf of the people.
Harmony Franco on behalf of the people.
John Dallas on behalf of people.
James Thomas on behalf of Mr. Melendez.
Witness,
And
Alex Brennan on behalf of Mr. Melendez.
witness, you're still in the oath. Bring the jury out. I knew somebody was missing. Jury.
All rise for jury. Please be seated.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning.
Remember counsel asking you questions about interviews that you observed on television with Mr. Dent
Yes.
and asked about inconsistencies you may or may not have heard.
Yes.
Did Mr. Dent ever say there was a reason he got beat?
Well, objection. If I couldn't go into it because it was hearsay, how is it that they can do this way?
You let him ask questions about it. I think I'm allowed to respond.
But not,
I'm, sustained, I'm not allowed.
You interviewed Mr. Dent, is that correct?
Yes.
Could you describe his demeanor to the jury, please?
He stutters a lot. I'm not sure if it was a little difficult to interview him because I'm not sure if he
objection as to her speculation.
What was the difficulty you had in interviewing him?
What was the challenge?
the challenge was back and forth dialogue.
Can you explain what you mean?
Can you explain that?
When I asked a question, he seemed to not be able to, formulate, complete sentences without stumbling and bumbling. I'm not a speech therapist or anything like that, but it was just difficult to communicate with.
Did you ever ask him to read any documents?
I don't recall that I did.
What was the date of the preliminary examination where Mr. Dent was a witness?
That preliminary exam, I have to refer to my...
If you would,
to
please.
the- Okay, thanks. It was on May the 28th of 2015.
And what date was that case dismissed?
Okay, you said, but he was a witness.
No. What date was Mr. Dent's case where he was charged?
He was charged, okay. Then the date when Mr. Dent was charged and he was a witness at Prudence, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's back up and make sure
Okay.
we got it right.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Dent was charged in a case, correct?
Correct.
I want to know what date his preliminary examination was.
His preliminary examination was March the 18th.
All right. And what case, what date was that case dismissed here in this court?
Not in this court, but in
No,
court.
in Wayne Circuit Court, yes.
On April the 22nd, 2015.
And when was the interview of Mr. Dent?
I interviewed Mr. Dent on April the 13th, 2015.
So his criminal case was still pending at that point?
Yes.
On what date was Mr. Melendez charged?
Mr. Melendez was charged on April... The warrant was signed on April the 20th, 2015.
And when was the preliminary examination held?
On May 28th, 2015.
Do you recall Mr. Thomas asking you questions about cursory searches of the vehicle or not taking a long time?
Yes.
All right. And ask that the lights go down and camera be queued up out of the lights. Ms. Johnson, could you inform the jury and the court where we are and what exhibit?
This is off of Exhibit 5. It's time-stamped 22:04 and 46 seconds. It's 16 seconds into the video 3.
Lieutenant, before we took the record, you looked at this clip, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you identify the officers that are depicted here despite the fact that their backs are to us based on that earlier viewing?
Based on the earlier viewing, I know these are troopers, and I know this is Officer Melendez.
All right. Could you play the clip, please?
I'm sorry, that's not correct. That is,
Okay.
that's not correct.
All right,
That's not
back
correct.
up and go through. I took you the wrong place, but I want to correct it.
Yeah.
Well, can we clarify this, Judge, just so
I'm
that
going to
we have a
clarify.
misidentification, at least so that she can get an identification as to who the
Just say
person
the
is.
steal and whatever, we don't need all of that.
Judge,
Just be, what's the steal numbers?
Right now, we're at 220447.
Witness, can you identify what you see in that photo, yes or no?
Just the backs of them, no. I can just know that these are troopers, and that's a trooper.
And the one at the far right, you said you thought was Officer
But
Melendez.
you don't know?
No.
Well,
Okay, very strike that.
she would know if he was a trooper or not.
She says she doesn't know.
No, I said these are troopers, ma'am. These,
Okay.
all these, 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are troopers.
Okay,
All right. And the person with his back to you on the right-hand side of the car that you initially pointed to.
do you know who that is, Madame?
I don't remember his name.
Okay, very good.
Okay, go ahead. Stop.
And we're stopped at 2204 and 51 seconds.
Very good.
And there is an individual standing between the two people at the far right with their backs to you. Can you identify that person?
Yes, that's Officer Melendez.
All right, so you were mistaken earlier.
Yes, I was.
And go ahead, please. Stop.
And we're stopped at 2204 and 54 seconds.
And keep it rolling, please. Stop.
We were stopped
Back
at
up.
2205 and 7 seconds.
Can you bring it back one frame, please? Stop.
We are stopped at still 2205 and 7 seconds.
Does Officer Melendez have something in his hand?
Yes, a plastic baggie.
And is that the first time that that baggie's ever visible?
Yes,
Go
Where's
ahead.
the bag?
right here in his hand.
Okay.
Go ahead. Stop.
We are stopped at 2205 and 10 seconds.
Is he showing the baggie to anybody at this point?
Now that I can tell from here,
All right.
this trooper's in that car, and he's walking straight in another direction.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go down, please, so everybody can get it.
Okay, you can stop the video.
And we stopped at 2206 and 40 seconds.
You ever see Officer Zielinowski in that clip?
No,
Approximately how long was Mr. Melendez in the car before he came to the back with the bag in his hand?
Your Honor, objection is the form of the question. He's been in and out of the car several times.
This time.
second. It was a few seconds. I don't know the exact, without counting down from the counter.
And he's been in that car twice before, according to the video, is that correct?
Correct,
And he comes out after a few seconds
yes,
with the bag. And there are times during the video where you can't see him, correct?
yes, correct.
Nothing further.
Are we done? Can you bring up,
Yeah.
can we bring up the clip again, please? At 22:05?
Oh, keep them off? Do you want me to keep the lights off, sir?
No, Jed, I like the lights off so the jury can see what it is that I'm going to
No, we're
highlight.
going to use the video.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good morning, Lieutenant Powell.
Good morning, sir.
Now, is this the video that you can slow down frame by frame?
Yeah.
That is a yes?
Yes,
So that if the jury wants to look at this at some point during their deliberations, they can do that?
yes,
Okay. What we're looking at, as has been explained, is a video of what, at some point, of the search of the vehicle. Is that right?
yes.
And I don't have to have you name the people around. There's a lot of people around both Michigan State Police and Inkster Police. Would you agree?
In this video, it's 1, 2, 3. Well, you talking about at different times?
Yeah.
During the video? Yeah,
Yeah.
at different times during the video, yes.
And this all cross-examination is relating to Officer Melendez and his finding of those drugs, which are in evidence in this case, or will be in evidence in this case, right?
Well, I think that assumes the fact, not the evidence.
Okay, well, the drugs that were the subject of the inquiry in both of the cases, right?
You have to start over.
I will.
Okay, please,
All right.
thank you.
We're talking about the seizure of drugs.
Correct,
You don't see Officer Melendez's hands at all times, is that right?
correct.
But there are literally almost 10 officers, state police officers and Inkster's officers around at any given time.
Correct.
And is it your inference that you know that...
Her inference isn't important.
It's not relevant, counsel.
Ma'am, are you saying that you know that Officer Melendez planted the drugs?
I'm going to object. It doesn't matter what she knows.
It's the same.
We can't tell if those drugs were planted, can we?
Counsel, that's an ultimate issue for the trier of fact. I'd just like for you to indicate to this witness what her observations
Okay.
are as far as what this video is.
All right.
That's their job,
He-
okay?
Ma'am, here's your observations. You see him going into the
And
car?
that's Lieutenant, okay?
Yes,
All right.
Lieutenant. You see Officer Melendez go into that vehicle on several occasions, is that right?
On three, yes.
You don't know when it is that he saw those drugs first.
I don't know what he saw, no.
What we do know is that you don't see him planting drugs.
Counsel, that's an ultimate question for the jury.
No, based on her view of this video.
Okay, I'm ruling.
All right,
Okay.
I'll abide by that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. What you do see is Officer Melendez pulling drugs out of the car at some point.
I see a
No,
bag.
counsel, stop.
What?
You can't say drugs, you can say a plastic bag. Or
She's-
whatever it appears to be. I can't do that.
A plastic baggie that you've already testified appeared to be drugs.
Okay, that's appropriate.
Is that right?
Did you say that it appeared to be drugs?
I never said that. I wasn't
Okay,
there.
let's go with a plastic bag.
All right, we'll go with the plastic baggie.
You
Can,
can answer, wait a minute, let me ask this. Can you definitively say from that video that that's a plastic bag, or can you say it's something that he hasn't seen?
I can say it's a plastic baggie.
Very
Okay.
good, let's go with that word.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, let's now continue the video, real time.
Where do you want to start back?
No, you're fine. This is, I'm assuming we're at 22:05 before the plastic thing was pulled out of the, correct?
This is 22:04 and 43 seconds.
Thank you.
Okay.
You see Trooper Craig there on the right?
Yes, yes, Trooper Craig.
It's the one that you previously identified as Mr. Melendez?
Yes, the one that previously mistakenly identified as Mr. Melendez.
All right, who did you see go in and out of the car just now?
That was Melendez, who went
Okay.
in and out of the car on that side.
Okay, where is he now?
He, right there.
Stop.
We are stopped at 22:05 and 8 seconds.
Okay. Did you see him turn to the right of the vehicle and talk to anybody after he came out of the vehicle?
Yeah, I saw him right here. I don't know if he was talking, but I saw him right here and another person's arm, yes.
And that would have been another police officer, is that correct?
It could have been, yes.
Can we go back then just a couple seconds?
I'm starting at 22:05 in 3 seconds.
That's fine. No, we have to go back further, please. There.
22:04 in 58 seconds.
Thank you. You see a person there?
Yep, I see an arm there.
Yep,
And
and-
I see Melendez there, yes.
Okay. Can't see who he's talking to,
And
but,
I see, no.
all right, now what does he have in his hand at this point?
When he was here, I saw a plastic baggie in his hand before he started walking that direction.
Okay, now, from your view of that video, can you see him going towards other officers who apparently are moving over by the other car that's facing us?
Yes,
Okay, do you know who those other officers were?
no,
Do you know what he did with the baggie with those other officers?
no.
Okay. You see Officer Arnica there in the middle of the screen?
Yes, yes,
All right. She's just come out of the vehicle, is that right?
yes,
Closing the door?
yes.
All right. Apparently the search of the vehicle is concluded at this point?
At that time, yes.
Yes. You see Arnica going back towards the car that Officer Melendez went to?
Yes,
Okay. At this point now you see movement towards the video camera.
yes,
Who is that moving that way? It look like Officer
Randazzo.
Randazzo?
Yes,
Okay, so, and who is that after?
that's Melendez, that's Randazzo, and that's Arnica.
Okay. Melendez has come from the right-hand side of the screen. Is that correct?
Correct.
We had seen him go back towards that vehicle that was facing the camera. Is that correct?
This one right here?
Yep.
Yes,
All right, I'd like you to stop if you would, John.
We are stopped at 22:07 in 12 seconds.
All right. So that we can recap, apparently Melendez went around the front of the vehicle that was stopped. Would you agree?
he went there to there, yes.
Okay. And then when then you don't see him coming back from that vehicle, but he's off on the right-hand side, and he appears, and now he's talking to Officer Randazzo. Is that right?
Correct. I don't see his path of travel. Last thing going here,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see his path of travel when he winds up back over here.
Now, the first time that you saw the plastic baggie, that you've described as a plastic baggie,
Yes.
that was before this.
Before this, yes.
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 Now, at this point, do you see Officer Melendez looking towards his, making a movement towards his right pocket?
Yes.
And John, is this the video that I can slow down?
It'll pause quicker, but this is the speed.
Let's pause then, if you can see when his right hand comes out of his pocket. See that?
Yes.
Okay. At that point, can you identify what it is that he pulled out of his pocket?
Not here. Not at this point.
Okay, is he looking down at it now?
Yes.
And who is over there to his left that's looking directly at him?
This right here,
Nah, the next one.
right here?
Yeah.
That's Arnica.
Okay, let's now move the camera
And that was
forward.
at 22:07 in 14 seconds.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now stop, if you will.
We're at
What did we
22
just,
We're at 22:07 in 19 seconds.
what is it that you just saw?
I just saw, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
All right, very good. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
You asked me a question?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
asked me what was that,
what do
and that appeared to be a plastic baggie.
Appears to be the same plastic baggie that you saw before?
Yes, here, yes, I'll go with yes.
It could be.
It could be.
All right. What is he doing as we roll the camera again? See Randazzo moving away?
Yes.
All right, did you see him show the baggie to Arnica?
I see him sticking his hand in the baggie, and then I saw him walk here,
Yep.
and I don't know what they were, if they were looking, but
Okay.
they were right there as
And-
well.
And then did you see Officer Melendez then put the, something, back in his right pocket?
Yes, sir.
The same right pocket on the pants that the baggie came out of just a few seconds ago?
Yes,
Okay. Lieutenant Arnica, in your investigation, you determined that she was a new police officer, relatively new?
yes,
You interviewed her, did you not?
yes.
All right. All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
No more questions.
More questions? Wait,
Just a couple.
oh, cut the lights on, please. I'm sorry.
Mr. Thomas asked you some questions about when Mr. Randazzo, Mr. Melendez was at the side of the car after that cursory search. And I asked about a couple of officers that he may have been talking to. You remember those questions?
Yes,
Those officers come into view shortly after that, do they not?
yes,
Are either of them Officer Zelenowski?
no,
Are either of them the sergeant from Dearborn, Zafko?
no,
No, they brother.
Well, all right. That video does not really clearly show who's at the passenger front door at all times. Is that correct?
the passenger front door of Melendez's car?
Of the vehicle that's being searched.
Say that again, sir.
All right. The baggie came out of the passenger front door of the Cadillac, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That video,
Jack, that's not what it shows.
whatever it shows, it is isolated to the passenger front door. Is that right?
Passenger side of the car.
Yes, in the front door.
Front passenger side of the car.
And would you agree that as you look at that view, and as the jury's been seeing it, that it is darker as you get further away from the camera?
Yes, it's dark on that side.
Right. Would you also agree that it's hard to make out faces of some people at that area?
Yes.
Okay, nothing more.
Sit down. Thank you so much. Let's stand up and take a stretch break. Next witness.
John Zelenowski.
Wait, just wait a minute. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give you, this is gonna be a long witness. I'm probably take us to lunch. Let's take a 10-minute recess.
All rise for the jury. All rise for the jury.
With a 10-minute recess, she
Wait
just
one
called.
second. 10-minute recess.
Please be seated.